My wife said she was going to frame me for abuse after I found out about her affair, so I installed cameras that exposed her and helped me win everything in the divorce. My life with Emily had always appeared perfect to the outside world. We were the couple everyone admired, with a beautiful home, successful careers, and a seemingly unbreakable bond. Our friends often commented on how lucky we were to have found each other, and I had always taken pride in our relationship. Emily was not only my wife but my best friend, and our lives were so intertwined that I couldn't imagine a world without her. However, the seeds of doubt were planted one evening when Emily's behavior began to shift subtly. She seemed distant, often distracted by her phone, and our once lively conversations became stilted and filled with long silences. At first, I brushed it off as stress from her demanding job, but the nagging feeling that something was amiss refused to go away. It was a casual remark from a colleague about seeing Emily with another man that triggered a deeper sense of unease, setting me on a path I never expected to travel. Emily and I had always been the epitome of the perfect couple, or so it seemed. We hosted elegant dinner parties, took picturesque vacations, and our social media profiles were filled with snapshots of a life well lived. Our friends and family admired our relationship, often telling us how lucky we were to have found each other. To the outside world, we had it all: a beautiful home, thriving careers, and a love that appeared unbreakable. Beneath the surface, however, small cracks began to show. Emily started working late more frequently, her explanations vague and unconvincing. Our intimate moments dwindled, replaced by awkward silences and a growing emotional distance. She became increasingly secretive, guarding her phone and computer with a vigilance that was unlike her. I tried to dismiss my growing suspicions, convincing myself that it was just a rough patch. But the more I observed, the clearer it became that our perfect facade was hiding something far more troubling. The first concrete sign that something was wrong came late one night when Emily received a text message. She was in the shower, and her phone lit up on the bedside table. Glancing at the screen, I saw a message from an unknown number: "Can't wait to see you again." My heart sank as I read those words. When Emily returned, she quickly grabbed her phone, her face betraying a flicker of panic, before she composed herself and offered a casual explanation about a friend making plans. Over the next few weeks, I became increasingly vigilant. Emily's behavior grew more suspicious. More secretive phone calls, unexplained absences, and a growing emotional distance. One evening, she claimed to be attending a work event, but a colleague mentioned she had left hours earlier. My suspicions solidified into a painful certainty. Emily was having an affair. I was filled with a mix of anger, hurt, and determination to uncover the truth. The first signs of trouble had blossomed into a full-blown crisis, and I knew I had to act. Before continuing the story, subscribe to the channel and click like. My growing suspicion turned into a relentless quest for the truth. I began to keep a close eye on Emily, noting her every move and questioning her vague explanations. Each piece of the puzzle seemed to confirm my worst fears. Her frequent late nights, mysterious phone calls, and sudden need for privacy were all signs that something was deeply wrong. I felt a gnawing sense of betrayal, but I needed solid proof before confronting her. One evening, while Emily was out, I decided to check our home computer. With a mix of anxiety and guilt, I went through her emails and found a separate account I hadn't known about. The messages I uncovered were explicit and left no room for doubt. She had been seeing someone else, meeting him in secret, and planning their next encounters. My heart pounded as I read the intimate details, feeling both anger and profound sadness. This discovery confirmed my worst fears, but it also steeled my resolve. I realized I needed to gather undeniable evidence if I was to confront Emily and protect myself from any false accusations she might make. The thought of what she might do if cornered crossed my mind, and I knew I had to be meticulous and cautious in my next steps. The turning point came when Emily, perhaps sensing my growing suspicion, began to act more erratically. One evening, during a heated argument, she threatened to frame me for abuse if I ever tried to expose her affair. Her words chilled me to the core. I realized I was dealing with someone who was not only unfaithful but also capable of deceit and manipulation on a frightening scale. I needed a plan to protect myself and to reveal the truth. That night, after Emily had gone to bed, I started researching security cameras. I needed to gather irrefutable evidence of her affair and any attempts to frame me. I discreetly installed cameras in key areas of our home, ensuring they were well hidden and capturing everything. It felt invasive, but I was left with no choice given the gravity of her threats. In the days that followed, the cameras captured everything. From secret phone calls and intimate messages on her phone to meetings with her lover in our home when I was at work. The footage was damning, providing a clear and unalterable record of her betrayal and deceit. With this evidence in hand, I knew I was ready to confront Emily and protect myself from her threats. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change everything. Armed with the footage from the cameras, I felt a grim sense of readiness. The evidence was undeniable, capturing not only Emily's infidelity but also her threatening behavior. I compiled the recordings, meticulously organizing them to ensure that every detail was clear and irrefutable. Each video clip was a painful reminder of the betrayal I was facing, but it also fortified my resolve to see this through. One evening, after Emily had another supposed work event, I confronted her. I laid out the printed emails, text messages, and the most incriminating footage from the hidden cameras. Her face went pale as she watched herself on the screen, caught in the act and making threats. The shock quickly turned to anger, and she tried to turn the situation around, accusing me of violating her privacy and twisting the narrative. But the evidence was too overwhelming for her to deflect. I remained calm, reiterating the gravity of her actions and the consequences she would face. She realized the precariousness of her position and, for once, was at a loss for words. The confrontation was intense, filled with raw emotion and painful truths. Emily's mask of deceit crumbled, and the reality of our fractured marriage lay bare between us. The path to divorce was now clear, with the evidence ensuring that her threats to frame me would hold no weight in court. The aftermath of the confrontation was a whirlwind of legal proceedings and emotional fallout. Armed with the irrefutable evidence, I immediately consulted with a lawyer to ensure that I was protected and that the truth was fully documented. The footage and messages not only proved Emily's infidelity but also exposed her threats, strengthening my position in the divorce proceedings. Emily, realizing the strength of my case, tried various tactics to salvage what she could. She attempted to paint herself as the victim, but the evidence spoke louder than any claims she could make. Friends and family, initially shocked by the revelations, rallied around me as the full extent of her deceit became apparent. The support was a small comfort amidst the chaos, but it was a reminder that I wasn't facing this alone. In court, the recordings played a pivotal role. The judge saw the clear evidence of Emily's affair and her attempts to manipulate and threaten me. The decision was swift and decisive. I was granted primary custody of our home and a favorable settlement. Emily's attempts to frame me had backfired spectacularly, and she was left to face the consequences of her actions. The legal victory was a significant step toward rebuilding my life, but the emotional wounds would take much longer to heal. The legal victory, while validating, marked only the beginning of a long journey toward emotional recovery. The weight of the betrayal lingered, casting a shadow over even the smallest aspects of daily life. Friends and family offered support, but the sense of loss and disillusionment was profound. Emily's actions had not only shattered our marriage, but had also upended the trust one once placed in those closest to me. I threw myself into rebuilding a sense of normalcy. The house, once filled with memories of a shared life, became a project of renewal. I redecorated rooms, removed reminders of the past, and created spaces that felt uniquely mine. It was a therapeutic process, transforming the physical environment to reflect my new reality and helping me reclaim a sense of control. Throughout this period, therapy became a crucial outlet. Discussing the trauma, unpacking the layers of betrayal, and understanding the dynamics that had led to such a situation provided clarity and healing. Slowly, I began to rebuild my self-esteem and rediscover aspects of myself that had been overshadowed by the turmoil of the relationship. The support from loved ones, combined with professional guidance, was instrumental in navigating the complex emotions and setting the foundation for a new chapter in my life. As I continued to rebuild, the impact on our children became my primary focus. They had witnessed the tension and upheaval, and their well-being was my utmost concern. I worked diligently to create a stable and nurturing environment for them, one where they felt secure and loved despite the drastic changes in our family dynamics. We established new routines, finding comfort in consistency and the small joys of daily life. Emily's involvement with the children became more limited as the custody arrangements took effect. Her attempts to manipulate the situation had not only backfired legally but also strained her relationship with them. They struggled to reconcile the image of the mother they knew with the reality of her actions. Therapy sessions for the children helped them process their feelings and provided them with tools to cope with the emotional turbulence. Despite the challenges, there were moments of resilience and growth. The children and I grew closer, finding strength in each other. Family activities, open conversations, and shared experiences helped us heal collectively. While the scars of the past remained, we were slowly forging a new path forward, one built on honesty, trust, and a renewed sense of hope. The journey was far from over, but each day brought us closer to a brighter future. Reflecting on the tumultuous journey, I was struck by how deeply the experience had reshaped my understanding of trust and resilience. The betrayal and ensuing conflict had tested my limits, but they also led to profound personal growth. I realized that the strength to endure such trials lay not just in confronting the immediate challenges but in the ability to rebuild and redefine oneself. The process of moving on wasn't linear. There were days marked by deep reflection and others by significant strides forward. I often grappled with feelings of anger and sadness, but I also found moments of clarity and acceptance. My focus shifted from the pain of the past to the possibilities of the future. This period of self-discovery helped me redefine my values and goals, leading me to embrace new opportunities and relationships with a renewed sense of purpose. Ultimately, the experience taught me that while betrayal can shatter the foundations of trust, it also offers a chance to rebuild on stronger ground. The journey of healing, though challenging, revealed an inner strength I hadn't fully recognized before. As I looked toward the future, I carried with me a newfound resilience and an appreciation for the growth that came from facing and overcoming such profound adversity. The aftermath of the ordeal led to a series of practical adjustments and new beginnings. I focused on creating a stable and fulfilling life for myself and my children. The divorce had necessitated significant changes, from financial adjustments to new living arrangements. I took these challenges head-on, ensuring that each decision contributed positively to our future. Rebuilding my social circle became an important part of the healing process. I reconnected with old friends, sought out new social opportunities, and engaged in activities that had been neglected during the marriage. These efforts helped me reclaim a sense of normalcy and joy. Therapy continued to play a crucial role, providing ongoing support as I navigated the complexities of moving forward. It offered a space to reflect on my experiences, address lingering emotional issues, and develop strategies for personal growth. As I began to see the fruits of my labor, I realized that the journey had not only been about overcoming adversity, but also about embracing new opportunities for happiness and fulfillment. As time went on, the focus shifted from recovery to building a positive future. I started to see the fruits of my efforts in the form of personal growth and new opportunities. The process of moving forward involved setting new goals, both personal and professional. I pursued interests and passions that I had put aside, discovering a renewed sense of purpose and joy. I also worked on fostering a supportive and healthy environment for my children. We established new traditions and routines that helped us adapt to our changed circumstances. The bond we shared grew stronger as we navigated this new phase of our lives together, finding comfort in our shared resilience. Though the past continued to shape our lives, it no longer defined them. We learned to embrace the present and look toward the future with hope. The scars of the past remained, but they served as reminders of our strength and the lessons learned. As we moved forward, we did so with a sense of renewal, ready to face whatever came next with confidence and optimism.